Yo, JMO Corleone, I'm out in Oakland, and this is All Day Play FM. Where do I think DJ culture is? I think it's in a good place. I feel like there's a lot of different people that are doing their own thing, like a lot of independent projects, like all around the Bay, like literally from San Francisco to Oakland down to San Jose, like everywhere, right? And so it's really cool. And I think we're in a time where DJ culture is more expressive. It's more like kind of open in regards to what you can play. So, you know, I think people think that there's certain things you have to play at certain parties, but I think now a lot of artists are building enough individuality where people are going for them, and that's what keeps the parties open, because you're there for the character opposed to the type of music or like the energy of the crowd. It's just like you want to see the individuality and you want to see that out of the party. So I think DJ culture is in a good place. I think it's a lot of like OGs giving a lot of game too. So, you know, a lot of younger crews and stuff like that are learning from a lot of, you know, people opposed to it kind of being like separated, you know what I'm saying? Certain cultures and certain eras, like, you know, whether it's like 90s rap to now, and the clash between those kind of two eras of rap, right? You know, different kind of clash. It's just like, you don't see that here, which is really cool. Like, there's a lot of people giving game, so that only allows for DJ culture to grow and to be more educated. So yeah, I think it's in a good place. It's a lot of good people that are making and playing good shit out there, so yeah. You know, I think it used to be, I feel like, at the club, like, you'd see a lot of parties and artists that you'd want to see at the club, but now you see a lot of, you know, stuff happening outside of it in, you know, different venues or, you know, locations, wherever, but things are just, at this point, not confined to just like, you know, your classic Oakland and San Francisco clubs. Like, if you really, like, go and you find people that are putting on their own projects, you can see that it's away from that, and it's more open areas and more like for them to do their thing opposed to being confined to the club, right? So I think that's how it's changed. It's just become like more open in regards to kind of being in just one space or 5 like specific spaces. Now you can do anything anywhere, so yeah. So recently I just played an experimental ambient hybrid set with Wax and original tracks for this group called Notes of Moss and CE, and they're both out of San Francisco, and they host, you know, a lot of different nature-based events and experimental-based events, like in different spaces, but this one was at a farm. So, you know, I was able to mix a lot of like my experimental wax and noise wax, and then some of my like synth bass, like, you know, experimental tracks all together, like 4 decks and everything. And so I was able to do that there, you know, thanks to ZZ and Angie. And then I was able to do it also at Vita Rave at this stage called the Biome. And so I think that's become like my favorite form of playing out as of recent. Very much no genre, no drum, open format, you know, surprise, you know, just like leaving it loose and kind of like playing based on how you're feeling opposed to a crowd or to a certain type of dance energy. It's just like noise. So that's my favorite right now, yeah. Oh, I think it's important, you know, whether you're in your bedroom, like, and you're just demoing at like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. and it's just like super, nobody's awake, nobody's dark, you're just drowned out, like, but there's an energy to that. To when we played in Orinda, it was like really gloomy. It was like, you know, fog rolling in, cloudy, like it was just dark, right? So I think it helps, it accentuates you trying to put yourself in that mind frame to play the energy that you want to play, right? So it could be something like that, like that's just like for me. It could be like, you know, a bright like summer day and like people want to listen to like certain styles of dance music, house music, like old school, you know, and like that's the environment. So I think whatever style you're playing in, you don't necessarily need it, but it's cool to kind of like harbor that energy in that exact like environment that you're in. So yeah, like I think it's important, yeah. What is my favorite set time? I guess that my favorite is kind of like that mid peak time. I really like enjoyed that like 10 to 11 slot recently, or like, you know, 10:30 to 12, like right before the headline, or even like, you know, before the direct support, just because it gives, it's like a space where you can play, like if you're in a club setting, right, for example, you could play to the crowd and you can kind of read them, but then you can also see like what you can get off, and it's like no risk to it. Like you can just kind of do your thing. The goal is making sure you're setting up the direct support, the main person, so I really like that slot because it's like, it's a challenge to try to get the crowd ready still, which is cool, like interacting with the crowd, but it's also like a space of like where you can kind of experiment with different tracks too. So I think that's like my favorite specific spot. Yeah. And I feel like I'm working working my way towards those types of times, even closing times, because it does take respectfully a certain amount of experience to do that right? So I think I'm just like working towards that. So that's where I'm at right now, yeah. I like back-to-back only because you learn so much from people, and like you learn different styles and just like how people mix, how they like listen, the patience, like DJing with a couple of people, like DJing with ZZ and DJing with Street Chili, like both of them teach me how to like sit in your mix and like just be patient and let things blend out, bringing things back in and out. But you know, there's a certain anxiety to DJing where you just want to get out of the track, right? So they both specifically taught me like how to like just be patient, you know, nudge, like blending together, just like really cutting in and out. Like they really taught me that. So that's like an important thing that I've been trying to practice, yeah. I'll back-to-back with anybody because like there's no expectations. I never have expectations with the back-to-back. So you might back-to-back with somebody and you know, you might give game, you might back-to-back with somebody and it's like, oh shoot, like I didn't know that there was a certain like connection and it breaks open a whole other thing. So yeah. Is there a philosophy I have? Nah, like I feel like I just push buttons for real. Like I kind of just look at it as simply as that, and like, you know, I try to stay true to the music I like if there's any real, you know, philosophy. And I try to practice, you know, every single day, both producing music and DJing music every single day. So, you know, as long as those consistencies are there, I think that the style builds, you know? So I think, yeah, I don't have a philosophy too much besides like just, you know, loving the music that I play and being confident in that, and then everything else will like come with it. But there's no like specific way to DJ, right? Like it's open. So, and whatever way it takes for you to get better personally is what is the most important. Yeah, so no philosophy besides like maybe just play the music you like and have fun, right? Have fun should be the philosophy, right? Yeah. How did I get started? So I was in college and I had always been producing music. Like I was on a Machine Micro. So I was kind of like, at the time, just playing around with hardware and like just minimal hardware, nothing crazy, right? And I bought a DJing SR my sophomore year of college. And you know, I was just playing around with it in my room, and then people kind of like peeped and then wanted me to play parties, so I would play parties, but I was not playing anything like I do now. I just was playing like Run DMC and like Migos and stuff. We were in Indiana, so it was like trap shit and like stuff like that, right? And then just some old school rap and maybe some like if people remember like Bass Down Low, Valentino Khan and stuff like that, maybe stuff like that, but like that's it. And then, yeah, I had a homie, Dom, who like I DJ'd with and he passed away, so I kind of quit after that. But recently, when I moved to the city and I finished a couple albums, I kind of got back into it. And so I credit Mo from Fault, right, he gave me a chance and gave me a residency, allowed me to work with the station, so that's how I like got back into it. And yeah, my homie, like I always pay tribute because he always told me like, don't even go work a job, go do this. And I never really listened back in the day, but I think this is also a way to honor him. So I started in college, I quit, and now I'm doing it more because I have people that have been pushing me and believing me to do the creative exercises, you know, DJing and spinning, so. And it's not even like you need validation to go do it, like, because I think that's where people get it messed up too. But like, if you just have that homie that's like, yo, you should like do this, and you're like, all right, let me just try, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Who have I looked up to like DJing wise? There's just so many DJs that like I really enjoy. I think that one person that I really respect their style and like kind of taught me to like push it further, probably was seeing Tim Reaper for the first time. Like that was somebody that like, probably a year and a half ago, like I was listening to their music and I was just like, whoa, like, and then I saw their style of DJing and I'm like, wow, like just the cutting up, the just everything about it was just like, this is sick. So that's definitely somebody that I really looked up to. At the time, I really enjoyed watching Avalon Emerson for the first time, like a few years back, and their style of DJing, because it was just fun, you know, just like seeing them play. So like they to me are like just like really like don't really give a shit. It's like ravey, but it's also like relatable. It's dancey, like, you know, I don't know. It's just so, there's just so many, yeah. Those two for me are like, when I think about like DJs that I liked watching, you know what I'm saying? I really liked watching them mix. So those two are definitely some really cool people. Sophia Cortese too, I feel like modern day, just seeing the passion behind them mixing is like really cool to see too. So maybe off the top of my head, those are some people I really like and inspire style, yeah. Even watching some like Jeff Mills videos as of recent, like just seeing how they work vinyl and just the 909 at the same time and just everything going on. It's not even about everything going on, like there's so much. It's just more about like, it's just such a handle on it, right? And you just kind of like want to have the same handle. So just even watching stuff like that, yeah. So I'm the programmer, so I just run like scheduling for residents and guests, and you know, look at applications and see who we want to bring in and just like give opportunities and try to do that as much as possible. So I do that, and I do it with the help of all my, you know, homies that are a part of it too. So, you know, Katie, Angie, Akirsh, Talia, Mara, John, you know, everybody, like, you know, it's just like we all work together, but that's like my specific part. And then I just started as like just honestly like managing the station and just like opening and closing, doing pop-ups for Aurora and like breaking down and yeah, Joe, shout out Joe, by the way. So, you know, like, yeah, that's how like I started, and then I do the programming now, and I've really enjoyed it, yeah. So shout out everybody that's a part of all. Sure. Well, I mean, like who I played for this weekend, No Tomas, I think that is like peak experience if you want to just immerse yourself in kind of like nature-based integration, but also just like free sound, and then just also in certain points like food installations by CE, who's also a group, right? So I've really enjoyed those events because it just is a huge education like session basically, like, you know, from the artists they've brought in, you know, Elias as well, like Agnes Martian, like X, Kelly Wang, like Eileen, Yasamin, Imise, like everybody that they bring in to get involved is just so talented, and it's also very eye-opening to see who they bring out. So, you know, I really like them. They're my favorite. But yeah, other parties too, like I really enjoy my homies at Vitamin. They've given us a lot of opportunities, so, and they always throw stuff consistently. I really enjoy them. There's a group out in the city called Operating Systems too, and they're really talented. They bring in a lot of crazy people and throw these really hyper events. They're dope. So those are a few crews that I like, and there's so many, like Lobby, obviously, like I really love Lobby from my homie Street Chili. They've done stuff forever, not only just parties, but, you know, clothing, everything, right? So Lobby, Unsettled Co. Yeah, there's so many different parties, yeah. Shout out to Company Studio that's even out here and has been hosting stuff, you know, so it's a lot of cool homies, yeah. What makes a song perfect to play out? I think it's just gotta have like passion. I think a lot of music is like, you know, pretty, it sounds good, but it can be like one-dimensional. Like I really like music that you can tell just was made with passion and energy, and like when you play it, you can feel it, you know, the people can feel it. I just think a track truly has to have passion, and sometimes that just comes from like the DJ playing it too. Like the track could be whatever, but if you're so passionate about a track and you're like, you know, you don't have to be the most like crazy, like energetic person, but if a track makes you feel something, like that's what you should be playing, right? Because it'll translate, you know, and you'd be surprised like who would pick it up. Like track, somebody might not know, but then you start playing it and like, you're like, whoa. My hot take, I guess, would be like, I just want people to like play more of what they want more. And I think there's like there's honestly like in electronic music, it's a lot of pressure. It can feel that way. And like, you know, electronic music's so big and vast and so many different sounds that it shouldn't be like, you know, like one thing, or you have to play to a certain setting or a certain, like, you should just play whatever you want and like believe that, you know, your sound will communicate through who it's supposed to, you know? Instead of just trying to like maybe please a crowd or like play for this moment. Like it should just be a continuous effort of experimentation through like what you like to play and listen to. So I think that's like probably a hot take. Like people don't play enough of what they want or play enough of what they like is true to them. And I want to see that more out of people. And I think I hope there's spaces and people that own clubs and stuff that pay attention to that, or bring in people or talent and respect them enough to like let them do their thing, give them their freedom, and like bring what they need into those spaces and open up those spaces for people. So I just think that because of maybe the confinements of certain like promoters or certain clubs or certain like kind of like past eras that are still like kind of the attitude is today, like it limits people from playing, it limits people from playing in certain spaces, and people feel like there's a certain way they have to play to get to like, you should just be able to play freely. So that's my hot take. What am I gonna be playing today? I'm gonna be playing just techno, some kind of like progressive house, some hard techno, and just kind of like paying tribute to certain DJs and producers that I like really enjoy, like watching old like I was talking about Jeff Mills videos, really old like DJ Bone videos, and like just like even like D Tiffany and certain people that are in a certain level of progressive house and then like techno. And I think people like, also black techno is important, so you know, I just have like Mark Williams, it's just certain people where it's just like they should be recognized and the styles can be spoken through techno. And I feel like I'm with the movement of black folks playing techno. Like there's a lot of artists like Jabril, Jab, Just Another Bitch, Nine System, that are like super techno heavy and like are able to like, in my opinion, translate what our predecessors did. So that's like what I'm doing today, basically, yeah. Yo, this is JMO Corleone. I'm here in Oakland with ADP FM. Shout out to the team. Trackademics, Ben, appreciate y'all for the opportunity, yeah.